Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Oh, no. This is a logbook entry from the 21st of January, 1989. There is a young woman who has rung 6 times this evening and gives the tale that she and her girlfriend of the same age want to know what they can do to each other sexually, and then wants to know what men do to each other.
You're listening to The Logbooks, untold stories from Britain's LGBTQ+ history.
I'm Tash Walker.
And I'm Adam Zmith.
Since we finished making the Logbooks podcast in 2022, we've been writing a book published by Faber. It's called The Logbooks, and Adam's turned 40.
You too!
I don't look it though.
The book goes deeper into Switchboard's archive and other archives, and includes more stories from the 70s, 80s, 90s and noughties. 4 decades.
Listening to queer people's essential stories is always central to our work.
So in this season of the podcast, we want to share some of the interviews we conducted as research for our book.
Now you too can listen to all the amazing, powerfully queer storytellers we've listened to in their own words, with their own voices.
Tash, we've got one of your good pals in this episode, right?
That's right. I'm bringing another younger person to the podcast. Yeah, it's my friend Abi McIntosh, who was born in 1993.
Love Abi.
Yeah, Abby's great. Yeah, I guess we just wanted to keep speaking to different people, and it's always really interesting putting your friends behind the mic. It gives for like really different, varied conversation. And for a bit of context, we worked with Abi on a podcast that we made called Black and Gay back in the day. You can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. And in each episode, we took a photo that was part of that archive that Mark Thompson has and paired a younger Black LGBTQIA plus person with an older Black LGBTQIA plus person. And Abi was partnered with Ted Brown for that episode. And she mentions Ted in this interview.
And people can listen to that episode. It's an amazing episode from Black and Gay back in the day.
Abi.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
So you worked with me on Black and Gay back in the day.
I did.
How was it? How did it feel to be part of that?
It was really great. I think it was... I've never obviously listened to anything like that before, and I've never really had a chance to think about Black queer history in a way that it didn't directly affect me. I think... I don't say it all the time, but when I came out, I thought that I was the first Black queer person in London ever. And it's really nice to see pockets of history that existed before me, and how, even though I didn't know it, those spaces kind of created spaces for me. So it felt really good to be a part of that, and hopefully creating that space for people in the future generations. So
yeah, because you were in the podcast, but you were also working on the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I guess helping to facilitate that, but also to create those spaces and shape what history it tells for the future, right?
Yeah.
So you really thought you were the only...
Yeah, I really did. I don't know how narcissistic that sounds, but it's true. I just didn't... There weren't any other Black lesbians that I could see when I was like 14, 15. The only lesbian I really knew of was Ellen. And anyone I kind of thought might be gay wasn't really out, so... Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah, God, Ellen.
And I can really relate to Ellen, so...
Yeah, I can see that. You got you look exactly the same. How old is Ellen now anyway?
I think she's like 50, 54 maybe. She's like old.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe even 60. So.
Yeah. When you were growing up,
when did you start to realise that you might be gay?
Well, when I was 13.
Actually, what year were you born in, Abi?
93.
Okay.
So when I was like 12 or 13, I got a MySpace page.
Legend.
And I put bisexual as my sexuality as a joke. And I remember finding it really funny. And then like maybe 6 months later being like, oh shit, maybe I am bisexual. And then I remember the day that I realised that I liked women for sure was there was a woman who used to get on the bus every day after school. And I hadn't seen her for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I just really liked seeing her. I don't know why. And then I hadn't seen her for weeks and then I saw her and I was so happy. I like stayed on the bus like an extra stop. And then I got home and I was like, wow, that's so weird. I wonder why. I was like, oh shit, like I think I like her. And then I think that's when I realised I was gay. I think I was like 14 then. So
yeah, I completely relate to that.
Yeah.
Like you can't stop staring at them.
Yeah.
Want to be near them.
I sat in the same place every day and she sat in the same place every day. Yeah, it was weird.
Wow. Was she older?
Yeah, she was like coming home from work.
Okay.
And I was like coming home from school. And I couldn't even tell you what she looked like now, but I just really remember like being really excited to see her. And then when I hadn't seen her for ages, seeing her then, I was like, oh God, like, I think I love her.
Oh, oh that's so... Did you tell anyone?
No, I remember I came home and I like wrote in my diary. And then I used to do this weird thing where I'd like just get under my bed. I don't know why.
Okay.
So I got under my bed and like wrote in my diary. And then
Is your bed really high up?
It was like quite a big bed for a kid. It was like a double bed.
Okay.
And my mum, we have loads of stuff. So like it's like a storage thing. So we got a big bed to have storage. But it was just somewhere I used to hang out. I don't know why.
And that's where you'd write in your diary?
Yeah.
Have you looked at your diaries? So
yes, really embarrassing.
My God.
Because I knew my mum, later on, my mum started reading them. So like anytime I talk about being gay, I'd put rainbow. Like I didn't think she'd crack that code.
So yeah, I think I'm a rainbow.
Yeah. I've got a big crush on blah blah. She's out. I think she's a rainbow, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
So nothing like the crush is... She wouldn't get it from the crush.
No, it's just the rainbow's the only thing you need to code. So, yeah.
Oh, Abi, that's so sweet.
So sad. I read them back now and it's so embarrassing and like...
Well...
Yeah. But like also having no one else to tell. It's just sad. So,
did your mum read your diary then?
Yeah, quite a lot.
Okay.
So, yeah.
When was the first time you told your friends?
My friends actually told me.
They're like, Abi, you're a rainbow.
I went to the toilet at a sleepover. I think I was 15 at this time. And I came back from the toilet and came back into the living room. We were all like playing Wii or whatever. And the Wii was off. Everyone was sat like in a circle.
Intervention.
My friend was like, Abi, we need to talk to you. I was like, okay. Like, we think you're at least bisexual or maybe even a lesbian. Yeah, and that was the first time that we like talked about it.
What did you say?
I think I tried to be like no, like kissing girls is just fun. Like, so at this point I'd like obviously been seeing someone from school.
Okay.
And then getting really drunk and kissing girls like at parties and yeah. So I think obviously like not straight, but hadn't said anything.
Yeah.
And was just always like, yeah, I'm drunk. It's funny kind of thing. So
that's so funny.
yeah.
Also, there was a real thing when I was that age as well. I remember of like girls kissing girls.
Yes, Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't kiss anyone.
Really?
Yeah, I was too afraid.
Thing is, I remember specifically, my sister had a house party at my house, and
Is she older or younger?
she's older than me, but only a year, like a school year older than me. And I remember that's the first time I kissed a girl like seriously. And then I made sure I kissed like, I think I kissed one girl and like 6 or 7 boys to like balance it out.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like Abi kisses everyone rather than like
Yeah.
I kiss someone because I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
But your friends sound pretty cool.
Yeah, they were good with it. I don't think they like understood, because as well, like lots of my friends were really religious. But I think they were just like, it's obvious, like, why, like, just be open about it.
Okay. So they were like, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah. And now I look back on it, I'm like, that is so nice. Like, I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
And they like it wasn't like a let's talk about it. It was just like, just something for you to think about.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're probably a lesbian.
Yeah.
And then that was it. So.
And are you still friends with those?
Yeah. And then my friends was like, we hang out all the time still.
Okay.
So.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
And they've always been cool with it.
Yeah. Which is really interesting because I specifically remember trying to pull away from them when I realised that I might be gay.
Was this before they spoke to you? Or?
Yeah. Just, I feel like I'd done that with so many people in my life. Like, I just kind of cut them out so I didn't have to come out. Like, there's still many people now that probably know that I'm a lesbian now, but I haven't told them. They just kind of found out, and I just stopped speaking to them so that I wouldn't have to say it. So it's nice that I had like a group of friends that were just kind of new.
Said it
So I
for
didn't
you.
say it, yeah.
Yeah. So was it the act of saying it felt too much?
Yeah, I think even now, like, I remember at uni I had a job, and at uni I was like so out. And I had a job at uni, I worked at a pub, and I just didn't tell anyone for a whole year.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't say anything. And then
So you were out at uni, but not
at my job.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And then I like told, I ended up on a night out, and everyone from my club was there. I think I'd quit by then. And I was out with like ladies football, and we're all pretty gay. And then someone was like, oh, Abby, like, hey. And I was like, oh my God, no, like really, really nervous. And he was like, yeah, we all just kind of figured.
Yeah.
I
love it. You've got like everyone around you who's straight and the biggest gaydar for you. It's so good.
Because I think I look straight, I feel like I don't feel comfortable all the time coming out. And it's kind of like I feel like I have to do it the minute I meet you, or I don't know how to drop it in conversation. So I just kind of don't do that. And I think I've only really got comfortable coming out like in the last few years, and I've been like gay for like 15 years. So
that's really interesting because it kind of leans itself into gender presentation, right? And like sexuality presentation, and the idea that if you're not like butch, so basically playing with your gender, then people will assume that you're straight, which is so true. And like, yeah, you're like femme presenting, right? But I wouldn't say that you're like hyper.
Yeah, it's weird because when I realised I was gay, I then became super feminine. And then when I went to uni, I kind of pulled back a bit. And now I'm feeling like more comfortable in my sexuality. So like, I kind of feel like I want to be more hyper feminine again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like, I'm grateful that I don't have to come out. But then it's also like, because I'm not obviously gay, it makes me uncomfortable that then I have to come out to someone.
Yeah, totally. I think that's something that so many people don't think about. And one thing I've noticed in my life is, well, since I cut my hair, like I don't really have to come out that much at all. And also I dress, I suppose, a bit more like androgynously. But that's really changed because I used to have hair that was as long as yours for a really long time. And people would just, based on like your hair length, would just make the assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is exhausting and tiring. And I used to feel whenever anyone made an assumption and said something like boyfriend or some kind of reference that would infer that I was straight, it used to really annoy me.
Yeah, but then I am grateful that in some situations, I wouldn't feel safe coming out, that I can just kind of get away with not presenting more lesbian, I guess.
What are those situations?
Just like, you know, like getting hit on by men in the street, being in an Uber, just like casual chit chat where like, I'm never going to see you again. Is it worth me coming out and having a bad reaction? Then just, I don't have a boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah. So like safety.
Safety, yeah, mainly. I think I feel lucky in those situations. So, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And how was it when you came out to your parents? Or when I guess when your mum read your diary?
It wasn't very good. We actually haven't really had like a sit down, I'm a lesbian conversation. It was just my mum read my diary, asked me what it was.
When was that? Do you remember?
I was like, it would be year 11, I think.
So yeah, you were like very much living at home.
And And she was like, what is this? Is it true? And I kind of didn't say yes, but didn't say no. And then that was kind of it. And then I just hear her on the phone slagging me off.
Okay.
And saying, yeah, I knew I shouldn't send her to a girls' school, blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of been it.
Right.
And I remember my dad sat me down. Well, no, we were watching TV. We were watching Hollyoaks, actually. And it was like a gay storyline. And I think someone was being kicked out for being gay, or they were arguing with their parents for being gay, something like that. And my dad was like, you know, you're my child and I love you no matter what. Like, I wouldn't ever do that to you. And that was kind of it for the conversation.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah. My dad's not really like we're not really like a talky family. So I'm sure my dad probably wouldn't even remember that. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
And you haven't spoken about it since?
No.
Okay. And they know about Robin?
Well, I've never really introduced anyone to my parents ever. And we don't really have a relationship, really. I see them like a handful of times a year.
And they're in London, right?
Yeah. I don't know, like I don't really see them as anything other than like my blood family. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And also like my mum's quite like hot and cold, and I wouldn't want to put someone in a situation where it would be horrible. So I just haven't done it. So yeah.
But your sister...
Yeah, my sister and Robin get on really well.
Yeah.
They know each other really well. So yeah.
Does Verena live with your parents?
Yeah. So I feel like they get bits of information from her. Like they know we have a dog and whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
My family are like crazy Christian religious.
Okay. And you grew up in that church?
Yeah.
What was that like?
When I was younger, I like loved it. I went to church like 3 or 4 times a week. And like...
Sang in the choir?
Yeah, I was in the choir, even though I can't sing. And I really loved like the sense of community that I got from that. Like I really felt like I was part of this like amazing big thing. And like my parents' closest friends are from church. So yeah, I just loved it when I was growing up. And I used to like really believe in God and stuff and found that really great. So, yeah.
And Jamaican Pentecostal. So there was other Jamaican people in that community as well. How do you feel not being part of that now?
I think I don't really think about it, but I know like, especially like Christmas time, I miss that. Like just feeling, I've never felt as secure as when I was like 12 and part of that church. And I do miss that because I feel like that was a lot of my security in my being Jamaican came from being part of that church. And then when I realized I was gay, I like wasn't part of that. And then kind of felt I didn't really know what else to cling to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does completely. So it's like an identity thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but I was brought up Catholic in like a really like Irish Catholic family, and the church was family, and we went several times a week.
Yeah.
And I was so proudly Catholic. I was in the choir, even though I couldn't sing. And it was like very much like who I was. I didn't understand the difference. Yeah, and it wasn't, when I was younger, it didn't feel like religion. It felt like just us.
Yeah,
we were. And then when I, turned away from that because of like my sexuality and like my nana, who was like the matriarch dying and stuff, and understanding like what Catholics think, those cool guys, I was like, I don't want this. But it was really hard because my identity, I felt like my identity as being Catholic was my identity as being gay. Like it was just who I was. And so to have that turned upside down, this whole world that my family brought me up in felt really confusing for me. And I felt very alone and like lost. And I think I've gone towards my like queerness with such strength behind me, or with like such a push because of that loss as well. Do you feel like that's similar for you, or?
Yeah, I think that
because it's your work, right?
Yeah, I think about, there was this weird, me and my sister always joke about it. When I was like 14, 13, 14, like every single week I just had a new personality. So like once I was a goth for a bit, then I was like a skater guy, even though I couldn't skate and didn't own a skateboard. Like every single week I was just trying something new. And like thinking back to it, it was probably because I knew that wasn't who I was anymore. So I needed to like find my new thing. And then, I think that I just like being part of something, and being queer means I'm part of something. So I just take it to the extreme and make it my job. So,
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hello, our company is called Aunt Nell.
Cute name. Needs a Patreon.
Whether we're making podcasts like this one, or organising events, or facilitating queer community workshops, or training the next generation of storytellers,
Aunt Nell invites people to listen differently.
for tons of bonus content, including exclusive episodes of the logbooks, and to support all our work.
You can join our Patreon now. Go to patreon.com/AuntNell.
Membership tiers start from just a few quid a month.
But you like what you touched on earlier about your like Jamaican community as well in the church, and having that like visibility within it, and then circling back to Black and Gay back in the day because you were matched up with Ted. How was that for you, meeting someone who was gay, and within all of that?
I think that I haven't really processed it yet, because I don't know, for so long, like I thought that being Black and being Jamaican wasn't, being gay and being Jamaican wasn't something I could do both of. And like when I spoke to Ted and he was talking about his mum who was also Jamaican and her being completely fine with him being gay, it just, that for me is like so alien, because obviously that wasn't my experience. And the stuff I've read, the stuff I've watched, like Jamaica is such a homophobic place. And it's just nice to know that there are people who being Jamaican and being queer isn't something they struggle with. It's just who they are. And that's ultimately where I want to get to. I don't think I'm there yet. But that is where I want to get to. So it was nice to meet Ted, who is there, and it's fine.
Yeah. How did it feel listening back to yourself in the podcast?
I find my voice really annoying.
I don't remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I think I can hear myself, like when I heard Ted's mum, I can hear myself thinking about that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that was like the moment that really, really stuck with me, because I wish that was my reaction, but I'm also really grateful that was someone else's. So yeah, I think that episode is really special to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Totally. Has it made you want to connect with other gay Jamaican people specifically? Yeah,
I actually, at my job, they were doing a documentary with Tom Daly, and he worked with someone who works at J Flag, which is like a Jamaican LGBT charity thing. And through that, I found like loads of other people who are like there are actual like LGBT centres in Jamaica and stuff like that, which is not what I have thought of. And I think for me, it was like, for years I was like looking for like the negative stuff. So there's like a horrible documentary about trans people in Jamaica, and they're like murdered like every week and blah 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 blah. But now like I'm looking for the positive stories, because there are loads of queer Jamaican people in the world, and they're building community and existing. And I think for me, like that's what now I want to focus on. So yeah,
that's interesting, because it's like a change internally within you, and you're like, I don't know, this is completely up to you whether you agree with this or not, but a change in your identification with your Jamaican identity, looking historically at the negativeness, the trauma around being Jamaican and LGBT, and now saying, yeah, I know that exists, but actually, you know, I'm a positive example of this, and then looking for the other positive examples of that elsewhere. Do you feel like that has linked to a change in your internal?
Yeah, because I think that for so long, really until a few years ago, I still looked at my sexuality as, if I could change it, would I change it? Probably yes. And I think also growing up, like, you know, you're going to hell. Like, there's lots of, I think my parents have like quite a negative view of life. And like, I can't really explain it, but like, like, I remember when I was younger, we'd watch like videos of people being dragged to hell. Like, it was like this weird game show, and they'd read out all the things that they had done wrong, and then they get dragged to hell. So weird. It was like terrifying.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. And I think that's where my like, I'm gay, I'm going to hell, so I'm looking at, you know, all the bad things that are happening to gay Jamaicans.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, I don't feel like that. And I think my whole mindset has changed. Like, I'm happy and I wouldn't change who I am for the world. So I want to find more people who are that way, I guess.
Well, that's really nice too.
Yeah.
Because you're great, Abi. I don't want you to change. Thanks for being so open as well. It's really interesting just to chat to you about this. Yeah, I guess we spoke about your work a bit anyway, but yeah, you work as a writer, journalist, but the stuff that you write about is predominantly LGBT.
Yes.
Q+. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because when I was coming out, I don't think the only thing I had was the L word, which
is white. And I know Bet is like mixed race.
Yeah.
But
she doesn't
very white presenting, isn't she?
And it just feels like a dreamland. Everyone's really hot and like, I don't know. It just wasn't really relatable to me when I was 15. Aspirational maybe, but not like mateable. So I think everything I do, I kind of do for 15-year-old me. And like, I don't know. I just never want anyone who's coming out to feel like that's it, they're the only one. And yeah, I love it. Like, I want to meet other queer people. I want to tell other queer stories. I really like finding out things about bits of history that I didn't know, and like someone else will probably want to know that. And it just means I get to read and write and talk about gay things, and that's what I want to do.
That's how we live.
Yeah.
Live, laugh, love. This is your aspirational point of the L word. You're here, honey. Like Ivor Cummings, right? So when we were working on the Windrush thing together, like neither of us but didn't know about it, but you wrote about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, how did that feel, learning about Ivor Cummings?
I think for me, like, it just made me really, really angry, because that is such a... I feel like I grew up in Ladbroke Grove, which is like Windrush Central, and I like learned about carnival and all sorts of things again and again and again at school when I was growing up. And he was such a big part of like the Windrush, and he was gay and he's just missing. And that's something that I feel like I should have known. Like, that's a piece of history that I should have had access to. And so many other young queer Caribbean kids should have had access to. So I think I was obviously really excited to learn about it, but then I think also really angry that I didn't know, and I probably could have gone like the rest of my life not knowing.
Yeah.
And I think it's sad when you're from a community where you have to like dig for your history and you're not just given it. I think that's a shame.
And you're digging for your history twice.
Yeah.
Because it's Black history and it's also
Black
queer
history. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. God, Taryn. No, you're completely right. Do you think things are changing?
Yeah, I think things are changing. I think people are curious. And I think social media is so helpful. Like, I did a video about Pearl Alcock, who has had a bar in Brixton. And from that video, I learned so much more. Like, people like messaging me and telling me things about, apparently that road was like a really gay road and there were loads of gay things going on that road, and I didn't know that. So yeah, I think there's so much more to learn, but I don't think it's as difficult necessarily to find things out. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that people reached out to you afterwards.
Yeah, that's just, I don't really like reading my DMs, but it was nice to read like nice things.
Yeah.
So
I'd learn from it as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's a nice positive point around social media. So So in the book, we're looking at like sort of intergenerational conversations outside of your work on Black and Gay back in the day. Have you had many other conversations with older queer people?
I think only really through work that I've done. I don't really know. I've never met anyone who's older and queer like on the street. It's always been through work.
Yeah.
And that is something I'd like to do more of. So yeah.
You've done some talks with Mark and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's that been?
It's great because Mark is just so knowledgeable. And also it's nice to see someone older who has a happy life. I think every time I meet a queer older Black person and they're happy, like I don't take that for granted, because that is not something I didn't see that for me when I was 15. So I like never take that for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's powerful stuff.
Abi is, still so young. I just loved listening to her talk there. But she's so young, but it's kind of shocking that she didn't think being Black and queer and happy could all happen, could all be true. So it's great to hear now that she is doing that. She's living that, and now she's showing that. And that was great to have her in the podcast for that reason, I think.
Yeah, totally. And it makes me think about, the work that I've done with Switchboard, both as a volunteer and on the board, and how right now we can sit here and say those things are shocking, but there's no doubt in my mind that there are people all across the UK and, of course, wider, who are living these stories that we're talking about and reflecting on now.
Yeah.
So it's really important to sort of keep that in mind, and why this work has to be done.
Yeah.
But also it was just really fun to have a chat with a friend.
Yeah.
You end up having these kind of conversations, I'm sure you did with Faizan, who we heard last episode as well, where you ask questions that you just don't normally ask, and you hear your friends describe their life in certain ways. And we did that a lot for the book. Another person that I spoke to was another good friend of mine called Layla.
Yeah, I spoke to my friend Ed and my friend Claire and my friend Anna. We interviewed Anna, my childhood friend. So that was a really nice part of the research, was interviewing all our friends. And yeah, like you say, you ask them things that you wouldn't normally ask them, or they come out with stories or thoughts and feelings that you wouldn't normally get out. So it might be slightly artificial to feel that you're interviewing a friend, but then it does get good material, basically, that you wouldn't otherwise hear from them.
Yeah, and also I think builds the friendship connection too, because you learn more about the other person.
Yeah. The Logbooks is an Aunt Nell production.
It is hosted and produced by Tash Walker and Adam Zmith.
The voice of The Logbooks is Serena James.
The assistant producer is Marnie Woodmeade.
Engineered by David Pye.
Music by Tom Foskett Barnes.
Original artwork by Natalie Doto.
Thanks to Steph Dickers and team at the Bishopsgate Institute.
Our publisher, Faber Books.
The Dreamboats at Acast.
The staff and volunteers at Switchboard, and all the contributors who shared their stories.
Switchboard continues to take phone calls from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. If you're affected by any of the issues in this podcast, or need to discuss anything to do with your gender identity or sexuality, you can call Switchboard on 0800 0119 100. Email hello@switchboard.lgbt, or instant message via switchboard.lgbt, where you can also donate money or time to help.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.